Could you use some comfort food today? I know I could go for some comfort food, and I'm thinking, why not an incredible video from a great creator about one of the best game series ever? Of course, I'm talking about Jaiden and her Pokemon Nuzlocke. Welcome back, friends, and a special welcome to all the new friends out there. I'm YoBGS, player of games, speedrunner of some, and world record holder in a few. Now, when I made my first Jaiden video about her first speedrun and also first world record, a lot of you had requested that I react to Jaiden's Nuzlocke. Now, I wanted to be a little bit more of a Pokemon expert before I delved into this, and so I've made videos on a 35-hour Pokemon speedrun. Two people who beat Pokemon without taking damage. So I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to watch Jaiden take on this challenge now. And before I get started, I do want to mention that I think it's amazing what Jaiden has done, not just for the speedrunning community, but also for challenge gaming. If you want to play one of your favorite games in a unique way, by all means, go for it. I mean, you watch Jaiden take on the Nuzlocke. You watch Jaiden take on his speedrun. Like, anybody can do anything in gaming that they want to. Usually it's just a matter of how much time you put in. And that's one of my favorite things about kind of what Jaiden has done for gaming, and I'm excited. So let's take a look at the Pokemon Nuzlocke. All right, so first things first, one of the things you'll notice in typical Jaiden style, all sorts of awesome Easter eggs and things. I love just looking at this. I can see the Pikachu, I can see the Pokedex, and I can see people on their DSs as well. Now, if you are having fun here, by the way, feel free to throw me a sub. That way I know that I'm kind of doing the right stuff. You can subscribe, join the good times. We get better every day. That plug out of the way, let's get into Jaiden's first Pokemon Nuzlocke.
Within the Pokemon community, there's a set of self-imposed rules you can add to the games to make them more challenging, called a Pokemon Nuzlocke.
Actually, before I get started, I'm going to move my keyboard so I don't shake the camera every 2 seconds. But also, I remember Nuzlockes from back in like 2011 and 2012. Back in the days of like GameFAQs, people would write about their Nuzlockes as if they were the most dedicated fan fictions ever. Like, Twilight has nothing on people's Pokemon Nuzlocke fanfics out there. So I've got a special place in my heart for the Nuzlocke, and I'm excited to see Jaiden's story.
You can only catch the first Pokemon you run into per route. If a Pokemon faints, it dies, and you can't use it anymore. And you have to nickname your Pokemon to get more attached
let's go
to
Mayo.
them. That means if you aren't careful, you can technically
What is Texas Smash?
lose a Pokemon game under those conditions.
Every time I see a reference I don't get, I just assume it's like a meme from Jaiden's channel. I'm like, I don't know what Texas Smash is, but I'm kind of about it.
I've wanted to do a Nuzlocke for the longest time. I've started a couple in the past, but never actually got to finish any because busy. But
But that's what I love about this, because we all run into those issues, right? Where we've all had so much on our plate that we never get to play games the way we want to. How many memes are out there about people who, buy a game and then it just goes on their backlog forever? So if Jaiden can do it, we can do it. Will she be able to do it? That's the question.
The day that all changes. I decided to make a video on my first full attempt at a Pokemon Ruby Nuzlocke. Let's see how it went. After breaking free from the back of the moving truck my mom stuffed me in and introducing myself to the neighbor Brendan.
It is weird, right? Like, if you were a kid, I think you would do literally anything else before you help move or help unpack. Even going on a mission to save the world, that is better than having to help your parents move.
The kid that I always thought was a monkey said that he heard screaming up ahead. Professor Birch is getting mauled by a level 2 Poochyena, so I let his Torchic out, and she scratches the crap out of it. He gifts me Torchic for rescuing him, and I name her Teriyaki.
All right, first of all, love Teriyaki as a name. Second of all, fire starters, I think, are the best starters, man. Yet Empoleon is hard to beat. Blastoise is hard to beat. But for the most part, I've gone with fire starters because in a lot of games, it is very difficult to find fire Pokemon, especially early on. You can usually get a Magikarp pretty early in a game. You can usually get a Grassmon in one of the first couple routes, but the Firemons are hard to find. So that's why I've always gone with a fire starter. What is your favorite type of starter? Let me know. Grass, water, or fire? You can always comment below.
my first Pokemon. Walking up the route more, I run into Brendan, who challenges me to a battle, where Teriyaki proceeds to also scratch the crap out of his Mudkip. Good job, Teriyaki. You're 2 for 2.
Dude, Teriyaki with the mad scratches. I'm about it.
Doing great. Professor Birch gives me 5 Pokeballs, and the Nuzlocke has officially started.
I
walked back up to catch my first Pokemon and ran into a Zigzagoon. Alright, not the best, but I can work.
Okay, so I heard Jaiden's rules at the beginning of the game, but one thing I'm missing is can she rotate out Pokemon? If she catches Zigzagoon here, does she then have to use it until it dies? Or can she swap Mons as she sees fit? Because I know some people, again, to make it even a harder mode, will put extra sanctions on top of things, which I think is completely unnecessary. But will she use the Zigzagoon for like the rest of the run?
With this, you know, I think we're gonna have a really awesome adventure.
No, she won't.
So Teriyaki one-shotted Zigzagoon with a critical hit scratch.
All right, that's good though.
Whatever.
You got a strong Teriyaki there.
A little bit, all right, guy. Route 102 is right around the corner, and that's where I was able to catch Corn the Seedot.
Yes, let's go, dude. Seedot. I am a fan of Seedot. I know people think that that whole chain is not that great, but man, it carried me for a while.
Full of friends ready to take on the Hoenn region together.
Although it looked like Teriyaki was not a fan then.
After watching the weird kid Wally struggle to catch his first Pokemon, I continued on to Route 104 and found a little Talo in the grass. Aggressive and screams and hungry? Oh yeah, I know your name.
Yes, let's go. Okay, Ari is also, well, Ari is her bird, but Ari's the bird that cost her like 15 minutes in the Cooking Mama 2 speedrun. So I'm all about the cross-pollination here.
In Petalburg Forest, a Team Magma grunt jumps some random professor, so Ari and...
What is it with Team Magma and midriff, by the way? I don't know. Anyone who's got a hood and showing midriff, like, I don't know. I'm saying that's an interesting uniform for a group of evil doers.
Teriyaki peck his eyes out. Oh, hello, Shroomish. I'm gonna name you Onion. I'm
gonna name you Onion. It's so, first of all, where did the juice box come from? And second of all, I'm gonna name you Onion is the most like pleasant sounding thing ever. I love that.
And while getting ready to take on Roxanne's gym, Teriyaki kills another Zigzagoon I was about to catch. What's your problem with Zigzagoons, dude?
Wait a minute. So it's Zigzagoon, right? Zigzagoon. I had always called it Zigzagoon because there was like, do you guys remember this? This is super old, but there was a commercial for like the Pokemon movie or where they were talking about what Mons were in the movie or something like that. And it always cut to this, like, I think it was a girl. She's like, and Zigzagoon. So I always called it Zigzagoon, not Zigzagoon. But I love, like, Zigzagoon sounds better to me, but it's like Titus. I'm learning that there are different ways, or Nidoking and Nidoking, apparently different ways to pronounce Mons than I knew growing up.
But it turned out all right because she also
+1 to Teriyaki for the teabag.
Ended up evolving. Onion was able to destroy Roxanne with ease, and we got our first gym badge.
If I just make enough Achievement Hunter references, maybe people will be like, oh, I know what you're talking about.
Exiting the gym, we catch a glance that Team Magma is up to no good again.
Dude, it's the evil midriff. You gotta... Okay, do you watch Yu-Gi-Oh? Merrick has an evil midriff. Team Magma has an evil midriff. I'm not saying all midriffs are evil. I'm just saying, in the anime world, you may want to keep an eye out.
Scorching Earth or something. And this old man exclaims that they stole his Pico.
Poor guy.
Here's your dog.
What is it with Jaiden and throwing birds? She threw Ari in the cave, and then she throws your dog.
So you're coming with me. The mayor thanks me by turning me into his errand boy, and I arrive in Dewford to give a letter to Stephen.
There was so much boating in this game.
All right, what do we got? Ugh. Okay, Chomps. After finding...
But Chomps is a misnomer, right? Because the mouth is here. The ears are back here.
It was time to take on Brawly, the next gym leader. Ari's a stone-cold killer and easily earned MVP in that fight. Things were going well. 2 badges in, and the team is looking good. On my way to the next city, I caught a tentacle on the beach. Squidward.
Yes! Let's go, Squidward.
And after beating Team Magma and Brendan again in Slateport, it was time again to get ready for the gym battle with Watson. But
dude,
as I was fighting some trainers,
it's the little things that are so awesome.
Got electrocuted a bit too hard and was killed.
No!
Jaiden, let's battle. I want to show you how strong I am.
I don't know if you can see it, because I think I might be in the way. But Shroomish has that, like, it's almost like a thing of chaw in its mouth. It's ready to go again. Like, let's go, Shroomish. Onion is where it's at.
Ari, this is an electric gym. You're not allowed to fight in here, so you can just wait outside.
Poor Ari got benched. Poor Ari.
While battling the gym trainers, Onion evolved into Breloom, and together with Teriyaki, they were able to get another victory.
Looking good.
Now we were riding high.
Great, looking
3
grand.
gym badges in, and no main casualties.
Leave Chomps alone. Chomps wasn't even going to get a pair of sunglasses.
With our massive confidence, we decided to take on the Win Straight Families challenge.
Knock twice to fight our entire family.
Beating all their family members. I had Squidward out front to get him some experience.
Can you pick up Squidward like the hammer toss thing? Like you grab it by its tentacles and just spin it around and beat things with it?
But we ran into some troubles with Grandma.
I don't know why.
Oh god, it's going to do a high jump kick.
Uh-oh.
We can take him out, but I need a clean switch first.
Squidward. No. Okay, that's better.
So I had to sacrifice
Wait a minute. So Hushchild just got curb stomped for no reason.
Hushchild the Whismer. But honestly, that was the safest move to ensure no one else died. Goodbye, Hushchild. You might be missed. While we were heading to Fall Arbor, fighting some trainers, Ari evolved.
Okay.
Oh, look at my big bird. Oh, look at you. Yeah, we were almost...
Anyone with a pet can tell you that is exactly what happens when you try and give them attention. They'll put up with it to a point, and then you immediately get scratched in the face.
To town, but we had to get through the sooty grass on 113.
Oh! Dude, oh, why? Teddy, that's not Teddy Ursa. Is it Teddy Ursa? I have a friend who, this is the only shiny that they've ever caught. And why am my brain is not working right, but I think it is, and the only shiny I've ever caught is a Zubat. And I've played every generation of Pokemon. That's the only shiny I've ever encountered apart from the red Gyarados.
Oh, jeez. All right, Barf, get in there with the rest of them. I walked into Meteor Falls to see Team Aqua and Team Magma arguing about water and rocks.
You gotta go Team Aqua. You gotta go Team Aqua. They cover up the evil midriff.
Can I go? So get
it. Get it.
They kept complaining, and I had to go up the volcano they were blocking to fight Maxie, the Team Magma leader. That was a hard fight. Onion and Teriyaki were able to take out his Mightyena and Camerupt, but his Golbat hit hard. I ended up having to switch in Ari and double team up to win the battle. Not the most honorable of strategies, but it worked and we're moving on.
Why is that not an honorable strategy? I'm just, if you play more competitive Pokemon than I do, can you explain in the comments why double team is not an honorable strategy? Because to me, like, I think about it, if Jaiden was streaming and I'm watching Jaiden stream and my options are double team and win the fight with double team, or throw out the entire Nuzlocke and all the effort we've put in, to me, it's more honorable to win the fight and keep going for my selfish self than it is to junk the run for purposes of, you know what I mean? Like, it makes more sense to me to keep the run going.
On the way down the volcano, I ran into a mat shop. Oh, hello there, Chad. What? You're a female? Did I stutter?
Oh, jeez. Okay, that got real really quick. All right, when you name your mons, do you take gender into account? Or do you pull the Jaiden strats, and I don't care if it's got a flower in its hair, it's Chad, and Chad it shall forever be. Usually my mons are named like meme stuff now, so gender doesn't really play a factor, but I was not expecting that moment there.
I left Lava Ridge Town and started getting through Flannery's gym. During that time, Squidward was almost killed by a Fury swiping Kecleon.
Or Squidward.
Fury swipes. Oh my god.
No.
That's a lot of damage.
No. And that was only a 3 times. So that was a favorable roll there. But my goodness.
But when it came time to battle, he pulled his weight and more. Honestly, with the team, there wasn't much I could have done to Flannery's fire Pokemon, but Squidward came in clutch by learning Bubble Beam, and it was all over.
There you go.
Her. Badge 4. Under our belt.
Let's go, Squidward.
Brandon met up with us outside the gym to give us goggles so we could walk in the sandstorms.
My eyes.
I found
the
a claw
goggles
fossil,
do nothing.
and Anorith was born. I didn't know what to name it, so my friend named him Gary. Now it was time for the 5th gym. After some training, Chad evolved into Machoke, and the team was
Mega
leveled
Chad,
up. I
let's
started
go.
the battle with Ari, and after realizing I was in trouble...
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't do a lot of damage.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Get out of there!
I managed to squeak by with more double teams.
Wait a minute, what? What? What a move! So, for that to work, the next turn, Jaiden would have had to start double teaming and get misses all the way through this. Or no, could Jaiden have, because it's a slack off, could Jaiden have double teamed twice because of, my brain's loaf, or whatever the ability is where it can't attack on those turns.
Ari was barely able to take out the first slacking, so when the second, stronger one came out, I knew I had to use a different strategy. I brought out Onion to leech seed it and try and get more chip damage in, which worked, but he was also killed by Slacking's facade, which I thought he could take. Chad was able to finish off the rest of the fight, but that was the first death that actually hurt.
F's in chat for Onion, fam. Dude, I'm gonna name you Onion. That's like my favorite line. And then you just, those wanton destruction of Onion.
I'm not crying. Someone's just chopping onions.
That is unintentionally, well, no, that's intentionally. That is dark. My goodness. That, I do not want.
But with every down.
Like, it's awesome animation and it's a funny joke, but that poor Breloom.
There's an up, and Corn stepped up and was ready to fill Onion's spot.
Let's go, Corn!
While Mauville again, Watson asked us to help him turn off the city's generator, and while down there, I found a Magnemite. You want to come with?
That's big brain. That's big brain. Why do trainers not do this? Because it wouldn't be able to escape the Pokeball or put a magnet in the Pokeball.
Kept on our way, catching Spurky the Electrike, and while fighting...
All right, so this is smart, I think, because Jaiden is building up the team. So if she runs into difficulties anywhere along the road, she's got those backup mons to go to, right? So she's got the ability to kind of, again, if 2 or 3 mons die somewhere, it's going to be a pain in the butt, but at least she would be able to get... You know what I'm like? Should be able to get into that next level.
Some trainers, Corn survived 2 very close calls. He took a Swords Dance boosted Fury Cutter by Ninjas.
What are you doing?
And a misclick from me, which resulted in him tanking a wing attack from a Tailo.
No! Stop beating up Corn!
Dude, Corn, I'm so sorry. You're such a trooper. Good news is Squidward evolved while training, so that's
Love it. I stand big time.
We arrived in Fortree City,
so well
and
drawn.
This was a gym I was really nervous about. Not only did we not have a good team to take on a flying-type gym, but Winona's Altaria is notorious for sweeping teams if she sets up too many dragon dances. I went to the
Okay, that's crazy, because like I said, I've watched a 35-hour Pokemon speedrun, and for some reason, I did not know that this Altaria was like the worst thing ever in history. So, dude, props to Jaiden. Jaiden put the work in.
To train up the team. And the worst happened.
No, again?
Corn was killed by pin missile from a Zigzagoon.
Wait, no. Stop, Corn.
Real talk, I'm a fan of Jaiden, but Corn was too good for Jaiden, because Corn did not deserve the abuse.
Corn! You monster! How could you do this? Is this why you kept trying to kill all the Zigzagoons? I want to think that...
Clearly! It was saving you from yourself, Jaiden.
Corn sacrificed himself because he knew we were at too much of a disadvantage.
I'm all about the veil. Chad's veil is spot on.
Known as gym. And by opening up a space, we could get the type advantage we needed to stand a chance. With a heavy heart, I brought Zip Zap Zop the Magnemite to the team.
Zap,
and realized
zop,
how much more grinding I was
go. Wait a minute, so she can't swap out Pokemon because she's stuck with Amaranth right now. And I don't think she wants to use Amaranth, but Zip Zap Zop's about to come in clutch.
I had to fight so many Merrills to get Zip Zap Zop on par with the rest of the team. You want to know how many? The move Thunderbolt can be used 15 times before it runs out.
We got the visual aid going here.
And I had to go back to the Pokemon Center almost 6 separate times to refill it.
So 100?
Zip Zap Zop killed more than 80 Merrill.
Do you ever worry about this when you're playing Pokemon? Because when you grind your Mons up, you tend to do it in the same spot, which means there's like 1 or 2 Pokemon that you fight against constantly. And I'm someone like, I love my Mons to be like glass cannons, basically almost like all Shedinja, where like they're going to have really strong attack or special attack, and they're going to steamroll everything before they get hit. But when you level up using only one type of Mon, which it looks like Jaiden did, do you worry about what the EVs and the IVs are? Because I feel like, I don't know, you almost want to spread the experience around a little bit to level it up more evenly. I'm sure somebody with more Pokemon knowledge than me can let me know in the comments, but that's just something that would be on my mind.
We're living in that lake. Winona led with Swellow, which Zip Zap Zop was able to take out.
Boo.
But she immediately
false Ari.
brought out Altaria, which made me very scared because I know she's got Earthquake
Scary Cloud
on
part.
that thing.
Head
I
wisps
didn't have
of
a
death.
clean switch, and I knew no one on the team could take 2 hits from this Cloud Bird. So I ultimately decided that I'd have to have Zip Zap Zop paralyze it in exchange
Zip Zap
for
Zop.
his death.
Let's go,
Goodbye,
Zip Zap Zop.
Zop. You weren't here for long, but your efforts will not be in vain.
No!
Oh my god! Somehow.
Yes, it is. Wait a minute. Did it have Sturdy? Is that what happened there? Did it have Sturdy? Wait, no, Sturdy's not a thing at this point. It just got... Was that like a low... That must have been a low roll, but let's go, Zip Zap Zop.
Lived the earthquake on 2
Yes,
HP
it is.
like a mad lad.
2 HP, she said. Okay, so it was definitely not Sturdy, but oh my goodness. Dude, if you are not Team Zip Zap Zop at this point, I don't even know what you are doing with your life.
Corn must have been looking down on us for that one because there was definitely
in a better
90% chance Zip Zap Zop was supposed to die there. With that string of luck, I was able to switch Ari in for Zip Zap Zop to predict another earthquake and started chipping away at the Altaria, which was not going to be easy. She was already starting to stack up those dragon dances, which make her moves even more powerful.
Oh, they're so
and I was
spicy.
legitimately sweating.
She's
but with
so
what
sweaty.
little luck we had left, Winona got greedy and tried to get in that last dragon dance, and that's when Ari was able to swoop in and snipe that kick.
Okay, so I went back to the beginning on accident there, so there's going to be a little edit. But I think about the damageless runs that I know of and how bad of a move Quick Attack can be in those for obvious reasons. So that's why it's like front of mind right now. Like Quick Attack it, be done, move it on, let's go.
And snipe that
kill.
Oh, jeez. If that Altaria would have decided to attack at any point, she would have one-shotted anyone and everyone on my team. Thank you, Corn. You shined your photosynthesis onto us. From there, I was able to heal up Zip Zap Zop
getting murdered,
and sweep
still
the rest
keeping the
of her
team
team
alive.
The 6th gym badge was ours. Outside the safaris.
That is real right there. Forget the false bravado or anything like that. Like, that is just a moment of honesty.
Then I found a Duskull I was able to catch. I tried to have Gary on the team since resurrecting him
I'm
from
rooting
the
for
dirt,
Sin.
but he honestly has, like, no moves that do damage, so I decided to replace him with Sin. We arrived in Lily Cove, and
Okay. I happened to notice that Amaranth kind of slunk into the shadows. It didn't really go into the box there. And also, I guess Jaiden can swap out Mons because she swapped in Sin.
I tried fishing on the beach for a Pokemon, but Chad punched the Whalmer I reeled too hard.
No, not Wumbo Wailord. Oh, no. Okay, for the 2 people out there who are going to understand this, the Pokemon Shield Run at Summer Games done quick, dude. Wumbo Wailord could have been part of the team.
We stormed Team Magma's base, and while trying to get the Master Ball they've got on the ground, an Electrode exploded and almost killed Chad, which was uncalled for.
Jaiden has put so much work in, but everything seems to almost kill her, like, at every turn.
After beating their admin, they escaped into a submarine, and I went on to fight the next
That's like Austin
gym.
Powers
Jaiden
3.
and Liza were the first double battle gym leaders, and I didn't realize until too late that I was just a tad underleveled for them.
Uh-oh.
They don't have any more than 2 Pokemon, so...
Yeah, no, they got their 2.
I think we should be okay.
42.
42?!
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
How is Squidward lower leveled than Sin? Squidward's been a part of the party the whole game. Does it at least know Surf?
Sin and Zip Zap Zop made a good duo, being able to confuse and paralyze
All right,
them.
I can dig it.
But Solrock managed to get off a Sunny Day powered flamethrower in Zip Zap Zop's face,
No!
which totally
Why?
killed him. That really sucked.
Why?
He put in so much work for...
Every Mon I like, Jaiden brutally murders. Like, I know it's RNG. I know it's not Jaiden, and I know that she's playing the game like the way that you should, but I still come from the days when these were fan fictions. You get attached to these Mons. These are epic stories, especially if you're the one playing it. So, losing Zip Zap Zop, I'm annoyed by it, and I'm only 12 minutes into the video.
Team and really carried us this far. The rest of
Poor
this
Zip
fight's
Zap
for
Zop.
you, Zip Zap Zop. Squidward came out, and together with Sin,
There we
were
go.
able to finish
I like
off
the combo
duo,
attack.
giving us our
Oh, that's
7th
so
gym
cool.
badge.
That had to take
All right,
forever to
Sparky,
animate.
You're up. I think I single-handedly wiped out the entire water Pokemon population between Zip
Nice.
Zap Zop and Spurky. I
Hey,
went
it
to Shell
evolved.
Cave and caught Blubby the Spheal, and went out to
Dude,
take
Blubby. Blubby is bae. Throw Blubby at
on Maxie
Groudon.
one last time. For some reason, I didn't learn my lesson when being underleveled for Tate and Liza, because I was even more underleveled for Maxie.
Uh-oh.
My Deanna. It doesn't go down?
Okay, so I can't fault Jaiden here because Jaiden just spent forever leveling up Spurky. And if you have been putting this much time into a game, like remember, she just had to power level Zip Zap Zop too. So if you've been spending that much time grinding levels, you're going to want to push on as soon as you can. So you can't fault Jaiden for not being over, because she's not grinding her top Mons. And that's okay, but I don't know.
This fight was rough. Chad was able to take out his Mighty Anna,
All right.
but I resorted to Squidward when his Crobat came out, and luck wasn't on my side here
Crobat's where
because
it's at.
Squidward was killed by a high roll wing attack.
No, not
The way
first of all, math. Second of all of my favorites. Why?
Pokemon works is there's a small range of damage an attack can do. It's not actually the same all the time, and it's kind of based on chance. So even though it looked like Squidward could have lived 2 wing attacks, Maxie was able to get a low roll on the first one and a high roll on the second, which was the death of Squidward.
You know, I'm sad Squidward died, but I also want to point out that, again, Jaiden, like God Gamer status, breaking down all of the math of the attack just on a whim like that. That's where it's at. I'm telling you, don't underestimate Jaiden. Jaiden's got some skill.
But it wasn't time to give up. We had to persevere for Squidward.
Yes.
Ari came
For
in and
all
took
of my
out the
favorites that
Crobat
you've murdered.
and lived on 1 HP when hit by Camerapt's Rock Slide. It was a tough battle, but we squeaked by.
Jaiden is the maddest lass there is. Well, I mean, that doesn't exactly look like a confident battle stance there, but Ari cannot die. Ari cannot die.
Barely.
That's all I'm saying.
After that fight, I needed to take a step
You
back
can
and
look like a tough
seriously
drill
grind up
instructor
the
all
team
you
again.
want to,
If we were just a
but
bit
we know
more
better.
underleveled, we would have been murdered. Blubby joined the team and we got to work, eventually arriving in Sutopolis. Steven and the Sutopolis gym leader Wallace were there saying Groudon was in the cave because someone used the wrong orb and pissed him off. So I went in there, walked up to Groudon, and Master Balled him immediately. There's
Good.
no way I'm fighting Groudon. Now get in the box. While fighting
Wait a
Wallace,
minute. First of all, if she caught Groudon, why not use it? That's like Mad Last level 500 that you catch it and then just stuff it in the box. That's better than I would do. If you've got it, you might as well use it. Unless, did she already encounter a Pokemon in that area, so Groudon wasn't technically the first encounter, but she Master Balled it just to get it out of the way. In which case, again, totally respectable. I would rather you do that than lose a run at this point. But like, Groudon would have to make this so much easier.
Spurky was able to take out his Love-Disc and Celio. Sin beat his Whiscash, and Chad finished off the Milotic.
Nice.
The team was
looking
perfect.
good.
And after obtaining our final gym badge, I knew we were ready for the Elite Four.
We
got through Victory Road. Wally tried to fight us for the last time, but he just needs to stop. We exited the cave, and there it was.
Rival's kind of a pushover in this game,
huh? Final challenge. Here we go. Sydney was up first, and honestly, he wasn't a challenge at all. Chad and Teriyaki were able to take care of his team with ease. Phoebe wasn't difficult either, with Sin and Blubby being MVPs. Glacio was a bit tougher. Teriyaki was able to take out
the hammer down.
Let's
go.
Spurky could handle her
we're
Celios,
steamrolling.
but her Walrein was the big problem. Walreins are thick, can tank a lot of hits, and can do a lot of damage.
True.
I would know, because I have one.
Blubby!
I brought out Chad, and she was able to get in a good amount of damage, but she was ultimately killed by Blizzard. Sin came out to try and...
That's tough, right? Because Blizzard is not a 100% move, so you almost want to keep those strategies. Like, you almost want to take that chance at this point. But the problem is, because it's the Elite Four, there's no swapping out Mons. Like, even though Chad is dead, you can't then bring someone up. So you're now down a Mon the rest of the game.
Confuse it, but it broke through the confusion and landed a Sheer Cold. Sheer Cold is a one-hit KO move. It has a 30% chance of hitting the target and will fail if the target Pokemon's level is higher than the user's.
Well, and so, but did she not have a Mon that was higher level than the Walrein? Or would it have been dumb to put like Teriyaki in at that point?
But even under all those conditions, it hit.
Yep.
And Sin was killed. Two great team
Never get to enjoy Sin
down
again.
And out. Chad was with us for so long and pulled so much weight, and Sin got us through some really tough battles. Even with those losses, we were able to finish Glacia off and move on to the final.
The amount of Mons that have died. If you've done a Nuzlocke, do you typically lose this many Mons? I wouldn't have made it here. Let me get that out of the way straight away here. I would have died long ago. I probably would have died to Tate and Liza fight. But do you typically lose this many Mons if you Nuzlocke? I'd love to know.
Elite Four member, Drake. Drake's got a tough team, but we've got a Blubby, and she wanted revenge for her fallen comrades. She ice beamed every single one of Drake's Pokemon.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just a straight up massacre.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was on to the last battle. Steven Stone.
Steven
Stone. I was legitimately nervous. I led with Spurky to take out his Skarmory as quick as possible, and Blubby was able to take out his Claydol and Aggron.
Nice.
But then came...
Blubby took out Aggron by surfing the frozen Claydol into it. That is savage, my friend.
In his Metagross. This might be the end. Metagross is Steven's strongest Pokemon, so I needed to hinder it as much as I could before it started doing serious damage. I knew his Metagross had Earthquake, which would definitely take out most of my team, so I had to have Spurky
Earthquake would take out Blubby despite being a Blubby boy?
Kamikaze to get a paralysis off. Blubby came out again, and after a lot of hard work, finally beat the Metagross by spamming Surf. Teriyaki was able to finish his Cradily, and his final Pokemon was Armaldo.
Okay, so doing good so far. You've got the Mon lead heading into the final enemy.
Final revenge for getting booted from the team.
I told you Blubby snuck off into the darkness.
Was pretty weakened, and after realizing she gets two-shotted by him, I knew she was gonna have to die.
No!
So with a heavy heart, Blubby pulled off her last Surf, getting Armaldo.
One last Mon, right? One last Mon I love that has to parrot.
And was killed. Teriyaki, the Pokemon who's been with us from the start, who'd seen her friends die in front of her. The OG refused to let any more murder happen. Onion, Corn, Zip Zap Zop, Squidward, Chad, Sin, Spurky, Blubby. Their zeros and ones won't go down in vain. One good kick to the head, and we did it.
Dude, this is like... I'm trying to think of a show this is like Grey's Anatomy of video games. Just when you get into a character, they die. I mean, spoilers, I guess. But shout-outs to Jaiden and Teriyari. #Teriyari. That is the OTP.
We
and it looks like
the Pokemon Ruby Nuzlocke.
Bravo.
Teriyaki and Ari were the only survivors,
Hall
but the
of
whole
Fame.
team put in a lot of work to get us to number 1. A cheers to the true Mad Lads.
Hear, hear. Oh, I love it. I love it so much because that had to have taken, the gameplay alone had to have taken so long, let alone taking the notes and animating the video. That is, it's deserving of everything it has and so much more. That was so, like I said, I needed comfort food today. That was everything I needed heading into this. And that is going to do it, my friends. That is Jaiden Animations and her very first, hopefully not last, Pokemon Nuzlocke. It was an incredible ride, to be sure. If you had fun watching along with me, if you enjoyed that comfort food, just kind of hanging out for a little bit today, leave a comment down below. Let me know if there's something else you want me to react to, something else you want me to check out. And in the meantime, you can always subscribe to join the good times. I've had videos coming out pretty much every day, and people seem to be digging them, so that's always a good thing. But until next time, my friends, be safe, and I will see you for the Salty Run Back. Thank you for stopping by.